This incident in Chicago has been able to precipitate a concept that I've long been figuring out. Now, this contrast here, this young man and this mob, I think that we need two systems of education in America, because the one system will always lead to this. Now, the crowd there, if you look at them, you see they're evil. They seem to be mentally ill, and they seem to be idiots. They don't seem to have any good education. On the other hand, this brother, he looks healthy, he looks normal, well, he's a scholar. We are trying to create an impossibility. We want everybody to go to college. This is not real. In trying that, you're bringing those who have the abilities down to this level, because these guys here will take forever to accomplish anything. And so, whereas this brother here, this scholar, Darian Albert, he might be able to get it in 5 minutes, whereas they're going to take like 2 weeks to get it. So you're holding him back to bring these guys up to his level. And they will never ever get there. In fact, they may even go through school because you make it so easy promoting them because they're old and all that. And they graduate, they don't know anything, they go and create a whole bunch of problems. They become a risk because they don't have the skills for the job they have. Just imagine they become a medical doctor or an engineer or a nurse. Critical positions, they can't function because they basically can't handle it. What we need is a different type of exams in school. We need an exam that early o'clock we'd be able to discover young men like Darian Albert that we could put into a special school that will accelerate in academics. In other words, they would be able to do in 5 years, maybe 8 years of work. And therefore, when they go on to university, they have a lot of resources and experiences that will help them along. These guys here, they will take 8 years to get 4 years worth of high school education. Now, these guys like Darian Albert would go on to be our medical doctors or engineers or teachers or scientists, perhaps presidents, perhaps politicians. These are the guys, you're just training them basically to function. If they want to go to college, no problem. They might want to be some mechanic or electrician or plumber or work in some grocery store or become a farmer. Not that necessarily Darian wouldn't be the right person for even those professions, but still the higher things like where life and death is, lawyers and whatever, judges and so on. But these are the guys, even if you're a mechanic, you still need a certain amount of education and common sense, unless you damage people's cars and create hazards. They go and kill others. Electricity, the whole house get electrocuted or burned down. But still, these guys, their level is different. So having all of them together in school, because he breezes through it and they have to struggle so hard, they hate him. And plus, he might be upset that they're keeping him back. And they might be upset that he is not allowing the class to be slow enough so they can get it. So there's a conflict. We need to separate them. Maybe not in the same school, maybe in a different campus, where we have students who will be performing on a certain level. And the other schools where you don't expect much from them, hopefully they're going to do something straight and don't cause problems. But these guys here, you'll expect the most. Unless we separate these guys. But then you see, education is the problem, because the colleges and the universities are encouraging the government to press on and wait on these mob here to come up so they could go to school and they could make some money. Whereas we have too many educational resources. We need to scale back, because we are encouraging this mob to go on to higher education, which they can't handle it. So some way, somehow, we need to have some schools. And you see, these guys here would be more prepared to go to college. He might be prepared to go to university, maybe Yale, one of the Ivy League schools. So I don't know why we've changed the system, or if we never had the system. We need to go back there where there's some people, not because of race or economic or whatever situation, but simply because they don't have the ability. They might be crack grandkids. This guy, Darian, he don't seem as though he's using alcohol, drugs, smoking, and doing the dumb stuff like the others are doing. Look at the Hofstra University in New York. 5 guys gonna have sex with 1 girl. I mean, I don't think this Darien guy will do that, because he has, as I could look at him, he's not only bright, but he has morals, he has values. And this is the same thing. We put in people into universities that basically shouldn't be going there, because although they may not have committed a crime, isn't it morally reprehensible that 5 guys going to have sex with one girl at the same time, one after the other? I mean, so those guys belong in this mob here, because that's the mob mentality. I could have seen that maybe at different times, not the others don't know, but so we're having in school now, and when you meet somebody on campus, you think that, okay, on campus they're supposed to have it together. They don't have a clue what's going on, and they're going to give you problems. So I hope that we're going to look at this carefully and come to the system whereby we are going to ensure, and when somebody comes out to university, we can guarantee that they are educated and they have morals and they have values, and they will not embarrass us and put the nation at risk.